Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and recently I shot a video where I talked about all the different avenues and ways we get work as voiceover people, and I mentioned, not very glowing terms, Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's been something that's been talked about a lot in the industry about people going on Fiverr and doing work for $5 or $10 or $20 that normally is usually $200, $300, $400 and undercutting the market. And, I'd mentioned that that's not a great option. Well, Jamie was watching and Jamie wrote me a note that I want to share with you because I think it shows an alternative perspective and one that I really appreciate. So here's what he said. Hey, David, you are up to 84 videos and I have not missed one yet. Good content. I figured if you are resolved to make 365 videos this year, I would resolve to watch all 365. You don't have to do that, Jamie, but I appreciate that. My job is certainly easier than yours most of the time. With that in mind, I would like to say that I believe I was indirectly criticized a few videos back and thought I would bring it up based on today's topic. I made a choice not to post anything in the comments of that specific video because, like the old saying goes, it would have been like trying to teach a pig to sing. It's a waste of time and it annoys the pig. Who's the pig in this scenario, Jamie? I get what you're saying. So I decided not to comment for fear of backlash and criticism. Here's the indirect criticism I received. And by the way, I asked Jamie if I could share this with you. I'm not sharing this out of school. I asked him if I could share it with you. Here's the indirect criticism I received, and it's certainly not an isolated conversation just amongst commenters on your video. It's a widespread topic among VO talent. And he's absolutely right. Fiverr and anyone who would sell their services at poverty-level rates and devalue the entire VO marketplace is an insert your own negative expletive here. As one VO person I saw on YouTube said, it makes my blood boil. And yeah, that's been kind of the overall response to it because, art is something that's subjective. It's something that could be given away, could be sold for next to nothing, or could be sold for a lot of money. And if you're trying to make your living at it, you feel sometimes in competition with other people who can do the same thing. So he continues, he said, I want to clarify why I do work on Fiverr and possibly shine light on my different perspective of the platform. I work full-time in VO with over 20 years voice and production experience, including 15 years as a corporate production director for a group of radio stations. Oh, you have my sympathy right there, Mr. Man. I do quite well financially with VO work. Memberships on 4 of the top play-to-play sites, and my other private contacts keep me quite busy, mostly auditioning, but you know that game. I provide VO services on Fiverr as time allows these days. Yes, I said it. I provide my services there, and that makes me a bad person? I signed up for Fiverr some time ago and was hired to do a few jobs here and there. No big deal, just filling extra time and making a few extra dollars. Really kind of odd jobs, but I never thought to put the pieces together. It wasn't until I was approached by a teacher who was providing a service to her classroom in Brazil that it became clear to me that the perspective people have for what Fiverr is might not take all the information into account. The school teacher who teaches English was putting together a class course and needed a general American VO for the project. The teacher explained to me that although the money I was asking was not too much, the cost was 4 times more for her because of the exchange rate. And then the light went on. Fiverr is mostly made up of people from outside the US working and selling their services on a whole different financial scale and mindset. People whose weekly wage we probably spend on a Starbucks in a week. I'll tell you what I did. I did the job for the school in Brazil for $20, about 100 words. To that teacher, that was about $75. Imagine my voice will be helping to teach children to speak English in a classroom in Brazil. I volunteered to do the rest of the chapters at $5 each. It will take me about 10 minutes to record and upload each time. $30 an hour if you break it down. Lots of people would love to make $30 an hour across the USA that do jobs way tougher than VO work. Just so you know, for my private clients and on other platforms, I won't voice anything for less than $100. I'm no Don LaFontaine or Paul Frees, but I charge appropriately to those who can afford it. Let's face it, we're kind of spoiled. Not everyone in the world has what we have. One thing for sure they don't have is the general American voice that I can provide for so many projects all over the world. So I choose to share my talent. And if you would do me a favor as you're hearing me recite this, remember that phrase. I choose to share my talent. A girl I produced a voiceover for in Norway who was doing a bee conservation video, a honeybee conservation video project for school, got an inexpensive but not cheap VO from me. She was more than happy to provide me with a copy of her finished project, and it was really good. She put her whole heart into it, an awesome feeling to be part of that project. I would respectfully ask people to put down the pitchforks and torches when it comes to all of us monsters who dare provide services on Fiverr and take another look at that world marketplace with a different perspective. Maybe not criticize the platform so much. After all, there are bigger dragons to slay, and I don't believe the platform was created with the USA VO marketplace in mind. I'm not that myopic. But I could be wrong about that. I'm also certain Fiverr has received plenty of criticism, just like everything and everyone does. Now, as often as I can, I hire people on Fiverr to do small jobs for me, little Photoshop projects and the like, because these are people who need the income. The jobs get done quickly and done well. I also have the option to give them a nice tip for a job well done. I don't know how else a person from Bangladesh could ever collaborate with me on a project, if not for the Fiverr platform. Just some thoughts. Damn the torpedoes. And that's from Jamie. So, a couple things. First of all, I really appreciated how in-depth you went, Jamie, with this comment. And I said so when I replied to you. I completely get it. And I also think that you've given this a lot more thought than most of the talent that goes on Fiverr and says to themselves, well, you know, I'm not getting work anywhere else. I might as well get work from here. I don't care if it lowers the price. I think the mindfulness that you've given to this and the gratitude that you express for the opportunity to help people in other countries is awesome. And that statement that, let me scroll back up and remind you of the statement that I asked you to remember. Where is it? I chose to share my talent. That is one of the best reasons to do anything on Fiverr or anywhere else, even for free. When you get to a point in your life where you're making money that you should be due, the stuff that you're doing is good and it's worth being paid well to do it, right? You then have the option to do what you've done right here. You have the option to choose to serve. It's no different from volunteering. It's no different from doing a favor for a friend. You know, I've mentioned several times my per finished hour rate is over $1,000 an hour. Currently, it's $1,400 an hour. And a friend of mine had a book that just came out, like it was in November, and I offered to do it for royalty share because I loved the book and I love my friend. And I wanted to do my friend a favor, and I knew my friend couldn't afford to meet my fee, anything close to my fee. But it was a choice that I made. It wasn't a choice that I made to undercut a competitor. There was no other audiobook narrator there charging a certain amount of money, and I wanted to do the work, so I was going to grab it. And I think that's what I and others usually are talking about when we talk about Fiverr. But the idea that you could help someone in Brazil or help someone in Norway, where did you get Norway? A student, you know, that's why we go and we teach in schools and we volunteer at shelters and we do the things that we do, because the currency there is not really what we get paid. I mean, you know, it's nice, you know, buys us dinner. Or it gives us no currency whatsoever, no money whatsoever. The currency that we're getting from that is satisfaction and joy and gratitude and the thrill of being in service to others and making the world a better place. That is a brilliant reason to do this. And if Fiverr is the way that you connect for doing that, that's great. I so appreciate you sending me this because it certainly is another lens on this issue. And if you were expecting me to tear it apart and go, no, that's BS. I'm sorry. I'm with you. I'm with you entirely. I appreciate it. If you have comments about this, if you have questions about this, go ahead and put them in the comments below this video. If you're on the VO2GoGo site, if you're not on the VO2GoGo site, go over to vo2gogo.com and leave me comments there, because that's where I usually look at them. We've got as he mentioned, I'm over at this point 90 videos. Yeah, this is like the 92nd video. So in 8 videos or so, I'm going to be doing an AMA, an Ask Me Anything. If you've got questions you'd like to ask me, or something you'd like to know about what I do, what I've talked about, the subject matter, the content of how I put these things together, the equipment that I use, anything. That's why it's called Ask Me Anything. You can go ahead and do that by leaving a comment below any of the videos. I'll be searching those over the next week and a half or so to cull some questions. And if you haven't left a comment but you'd like to ask a question for the Ask Me Anything, go ahead and send me an email. Just put AMA question in the subject line, just so that I know what it's for. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel and get notice when these videos are coming out every day, we're doing the 1-a-day challenge. Go ahead and click on my head there. If there's no head there, then go ahead and click on a subscribe button somewhere on the page. You want to see the latest video I've done? Click on that frame and YouTube will play it for you. Thank you, Jamie, and thank you for watching. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I will talk to you tomorrow.